Hey everybody, Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to give you guys a quick demonstration of the IPX7 water resistance rating that the Sony Xperia Tablet Z has to offer. Now this is the first tablet on the market to have that rating, so that's pretty significant, besides the fact that Sony's already got a lot of bragging rights with this tablet out of the gate, because at its $500 and $600 price points, depending on whether you pick up the 16 or 32 gigabyte Wi-Fi model, you get a very well-rounded package, but more importantly, it's the thinnest and lightest 10.1-inch Android tablet on the market. It's running Jelly Bean version 4.1.2 out of the box, lightly skinned by Sony. You've got an infrared blaster. Just a really solid tablet. Definitely best on the market right now without question, and I mean of any tablet out there. So the fact that you're also getting this water resistance is just a cherry on top, and I think that helps also arguably command that $500 and $600 price point, which does put it right up there with all of the high-end tablets like the iPad and Nexus 10, which I think are the tablets that you're really going to draw a direct comparison to when looking at this Sony. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get to the water dunkage. I don't have something at least large enough to completely submerge it, but I will just drop it in there. And you can see it's already picking up some random touches. It opened up Office on its own. And basically, here's what I can tell you guys about having this tablet in water. The IPX7 rating is going to afford you the ability to keep this tablet submerged in water of a depth of 1 meter, which is the equivalent to roughly 3 feet, for up to 30 minutes. Now, you do have to make sure, and I should have said this before dropping it in there because I don't want you guys to break your tablet, that you do need to make sure that all of the ports are closed. So like right here, we've got one of the ports. Essentially, there are 3 in total. You've got the micro USB port right here on the bottom left side of the tablet. You've got the headphone jack port above the power button on the top left side, and the only other one is the micro USB port, or SD card, excuse me, on the lower right hand side of the tablet, which is actually right now submerged. Now this can withstand, as I mentioned, 30 minutes at that 3-foot depth, but keep in mind it's really not usable, because as you saw, as soon as I submerged the tablet, it immediately started to take, inadvertent touches from the contact with the water. Now that could have to do obviously directly with the temperature of the water. I did use cold water, but nonetheless the tablet picked it up. Basically, as long as all of those ports are closed, you're good to go. Of course, I did make sure of that before doing this. This is the first time I have submerged the tablet, and while many of you may think this is a gimmick and really just another bragging right, it's far more, in my opinion, because this does permit a tablet like this to truly be a go-anywhere device. So whether you want to use this at the beach, the pool, I wouldn't recommend the beach so much because sand is pretty much the worst thing that could possibly hit your tablet. That's why you want to use a screen protector. This is not Gorilla Glass, by the way. That's one of the ways this tablet took a step, unfortunately, back. But overall, you're really looking at a great device. The entire package between the S4 Pro chip, even though it's not best in class right now, it is going to give you best in class performance, at least in the current generation of devices, but that's going to change in the next 3 to 6 or maybe even less months. The brand new Tegra 4 will drop in the next couple of months. We may even see tablets this month as we are now entering June. So basically, this tablet right now, I think the price point is right, but I think a lot of you out there are going to be willing to wait. I think between the IR blaster, the water resistance that I just demoed for you guys, and by the way, of course, you can fully submerge this. Don't worry, it can survive it. As you guys saw, nothing happened here. Everything is still fully functional, and that's what I like about this. As I mentioned in my previous coverage, Sony had a water resistance issue with the IPX4 rated Xperia Tablet Z, which I do own as well. And they did fix it, but it was off the market for many months, and it did end up turning the tablet, unfortunately, into a loss leader. So you're looking at Sony trying to make it right. I also want to correct, I had mentioned in a previous video that this tablet is locked down. That is incorrect, because this was developed by the Xperia unit over at Sony Ericsson, you are looking at an Xperia branded device, even in the sense that it will be open to development. So XDA is a good place to keep your eye open for some of that development. Things are already starting to cook, which is definitely a good thing if you're in the market for a tablet that has a little bit more flexibility when it comes to software, obviously, because the sky's the limit if things really do get truly unlocked. We're not there yet, but the promise is there. If you go with the older generation, it's locked down tight, although I do now remember seeing recently that there is a possibility for root that has been successful. But back to this tablet, $500 or $600, getting you a well-rounded package between that S4 Pro quad-core processor, 2 gigs of RAM, Bluetooth, GPS, NFC. That's part of the reason they went with the plastic backing, by the way. If you go with the white version, as you notice, you will have that white border. If you go with black, of course, the white border is not going to be there. You'll have black around the back as well. Soft touch plastic back, very good on fingerprints, unlike the screen, which does get very dirty very quickly. And Sony has attempted to use a new technology to crank that down, kind of prevent the fingerprints, but in my experience, no success with that. The glare, so far, also no real improvements to my eyes. It does perform pretty well outdoors, despite the fact that this is a traditional LCD, at least by everything that I could discern. They have done a very good job on viewing angles. It's not quite IPS, but it's as close as you're going to get. Colors, as I mentioned before, gamut is wider here than on any other tablet, and it does show in just about everything you do. So that's definitely a big advantage for this tablet. The screen is gorgeous. I give it that. Thinnest and lightest 10.1 on the market, which really does make it unique, because as you guys may even see from this video, I'm holding it through the entire course of the video pretty much one-handed. So that tells you a lot. With any other 10.1-inch tablet, that would be tough to do for any prolonged period of time. So as long as you don't bulk this up with a ridiculous case, I think the Sony branded cases are moderate in their size and weight. They do add some bulk, but they're not going to take it over the hill. Then you should be pretty good with this, because this is really, in my opinion right now, the best tablet on the market in terms of the screen, processor, RAM. As I mentioned before, you've got every specification you should be getting at the price point, and the water resistance is really just a great added on bonus, because it makes the tablet the type of tablet you could take anywhere with confidence. Also, dust protection here, it is completely sealed. So that's something I wish I saw on a lot more electronics. Hopefully this is the beginning of many more for Sony, but I think this is part of a lifestyle tablet, and that's what Sony's really after. They're trying to make the best tablet they've ever made, and I think they've succeeded. And again, that water resistance is just a great thing. As I mentioned, you're not going to really be able to get usage. It was reacting for a second, but you can see nothing consistent is going to happen. But it does work. You don't have to worry. This is not a myth. It's not a a marketing gimmick. It does completely make sense, not only here, but of course in its Xperia Z phone brethren. And I hope to see a lot more electronics manufacturers adopt and adapt this sort of technique, because this is a no-brainer when it comes to the everyday device we use in our lives, whether it's a mobile computing experience on a tablet or, of course, a smartphone. Would love to see this sort of dust protection and water sealing on a lot more cameras, but it's another discussion for another day. Either way, hope you guys enjoyed the update, and again, no worries on that water resistance IPX7 rating, much like the problems they went through with the last generation. Everything works here as it should. If you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. And of course, as usual, please feel free to subscribe. Later.